Coach, you talked to Jack and May after the UConn loss in Hartford, and the big thing I remember from that conversation was chipping away. I think you guys did a really good job of that today. Ultimately, you couldn't get all the way back. What are you most proud of this group to continuing to fight and talk about heart, but the heart to fight in this game?
Well, I gave them the same message before the game, and that's going to continue to be our message when we play UConn, just to try to chip away and close the gap. And I feel like every time we've played them, we've done that and certainly did that really well. I'm proud of our effort. I'm proud of our resilience. I think a big thing in playing UConn is you have to stay confident against them. And I thought our kids stayed really confident despite some mistakes, despite the start of the third quarter. And I'm just proud of how we came together and just played really hard. And again, we're going to continue to work to chip away. But we gave an outstanding effort today.
Okay, thanks. Coach, along those lines, can both of you kind of get a little more specific in terms of what parts of the game, in terms of the execution, do you think were better this time around that helped, you cut that gap? Well,
the first game out of their place, I think we started with 5 or 6 straight turnovers, which is commonly what UConn does. And, a big thing we talked about was just starting better. I think when you do a good job taking care of the ball against them, then you force them to run more offense. And I thought today we really forced them to have to run more offense. They were running plays that we didn't go over and scout because they're kind of deeper into their playbook. And so I thought that was a big difference for us. And I thought we took good shots. I think with them, you got to shoot your open shots when you have them. And I thought our players did a really good job of taking advantage of those opportunities.
This question's for you, Lee. What did kind of playing in this crowd and environment mean to you compared to more like a traditional home game in a sense?
I think the Owl is a great gym, and it's really fun to play in it when it's packed, even if...
Just a little closer to the mic.
Oh. Okay. No, the Owl is always really fun to play in, and with it packed, even more fun.
You guys held UConn to their lowest scoring first half of the season. How do you see that as a building block for the remaining 3 games of the regular season here?
Well, I think for us, we talk about this a lot. We hang our hat on our defense, and we've done that a lot of this season. And I think for us it's really nice because I think our last 2 games we had some defensive breakdowns that we would prefer not to have. But I thought today, again, we did a really good job with the scout. I think we forced them to do some different things. Obviously, they're tough to cover over the course of the game. Sarah Strong was really difficult in the second half. But again, we made them have to, I think, make some adjustments. And I think that means that we're doing what we're supposed to do in terms of the scout and playing hard.
You mentioned Strong. How were you able to hold her in check as well as y'all did that first half? And from your perspective, what adjustments did they make to kind of get her going there in the third quarter?
Yeah, I think we did a good job keeping her off her spots in the first half. She missed a couple shots as well, but I think generally we didn't really give her a lot of things easy and made her have to shoot from different places. And then, certainly they made a good adjustment to get her on the block to use her power. And, when they switched their lineup, we weren't able to help on her as much as we would have liked to. And that was a great adjustment by them. And, but again, at least – what I'm happy about is we made them have to try to do something different rather than getting beat on what they normally do.
Coach, UConn's obviously the number 1 ranked team for good reason. You guys played hard early in the game. What can you guys kind of learn coming away from a game like this, big or little, as you close out the season, Big East play?
Yeah, I think this was important for us to build some confidence coming off 2 losses where we felt like we did things that we could have controlled better to win those games. Still, adjusting to life without our point guard, Olivia Porter. We've been going through some things, and I think to be able to recoup and recover against the number 1 team in the country and play well, that's important for our confidence moving forward. And I told our team in the huddle after the game, if we play like that, we can write our own story and how we want to finish this season. And that's the choice that we have, and we just have to continue to battle to do that.
Back here, for both of you, start with you, Lee. Skyler got her 1,000th point tonight. Just kind of what is it like playing with her? It seemed like the team maybe knew the way that you all kind of celebrated on that and one. Just was it like having her have the career she's had?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. That's something that's super hard to accomplish. For her to do it as a junior, super exciting. and I think it's cool to have been able to watch her do it for all 3 years. Yeah, excited to see what she does with one more.
Yeah, I mean, I think Skyler Forbes is one of the best players in the Big East, and is in the conversation for being one of the best players in the country. And I think you can see that with the way that she plays, and certainly scoring 1,000 points is an incredible milestone for any player. So we're proud of her, and want to continue to see her keep going.
You mentioned earlier about life without Olivia Porter. What do you feel like went right today with ball handling and trying to beat the press that UConn seemed to give you a lot of heavy dosage on the press there?
Yeah, I thought our players did a really good job handling UConn's press, which is difficult to do. You watch them, you try to prep and watch how to break their press, and they do it to everybody. No one really has a great answer, but I thought our players had a lot of composure. Our biggest focus was try to beat the press with the pass rather than to dribble. And I thought for the most part we did that, and I thought that really helped us. We also made an adjustment today to play Bridget Upberg more as our backup point guard and keep Jaden Mason on the wing, and I thought Bridget did a really good job kind of taking that pressure off of Jay from having to run the point, and that helped us, so we'll look to do that moving forward.
Lee, it seemed like, from the first half, it seemed as the game wore on that you and your teammates were running the offense better. It just seemed like, they were, maybe things were going, they were putting a little less pressure on you, or you guys were responding better. Just can you talk about, adjusting to that, what went into it? And, I mean, I'm curious, did you feel that way? How did you kind of feel your offense evolved as the game wore on?
Yeah, I think it definitely felt better in the second half. I think the start of the game is always hard to figure out the flow. But after the initial couple possessions and the fact that we were kind of into it, we were like, I don't know, I think just moving the ball and finding the open person. And I think we made the adjustment with how we were doing ball screens and kind of initiating our offense to kind of take advantage of the spots where we felt like we could continue to take advantage of. So.
Coach, you played Jada some good minutes in that second quarter, and physically Sarah Strong was aggressive in that third quarter, having 15 points previous to our 3 in the first half. Is that something, if you end up having to match up with them again or a physical team like UConn, you would think of kind of using Jada and Skyler together to kind of defend the physicality of them?
Yeah, I mean, what makes playing UConn so hard is when they put Sarah Strong at the 5, like she can go out and shoot the 3 and drive. And Jada is an extremely great interior defender, but not so great on the perimeter. And so, obviously their subbing and their matchups make it difficult when they play small. So we tried to get Jada in there, particularly whenever 8 was in or 22 was in. Like, those were great matchups for her. But Strong is a tough matchup at the 5. And so if we would have done that, Gina would have taken her out and put her on the perimeter. So, it's a lot of chess being played, but certainly she makes it tough.
UConn threw a lot of stuff at you guys today, and they forced you into a lot of unwelcome situations, forced a lot of turnovers. How does having to handle that and having to make those adjustments really help you in terms of your approach to the rest of the season?
I think it's going to help us for sure. I mean, there's no secret that we haven't handled pressure very well, particularly in the last month. And that's an area that we're really working hard in practice and through film to improve. I don't think there's a better pressing team in the country than UConn. And yet we were not perfect. Obviously, we made some mistakes. We had some bad streaks, particularly in the third quarter. But I also felt overall that we had some good composure. We were able to beat them easily at times, which is a huge win against how good they are. And so I hope moving forward it gives us a lot of confidence that, the next team that we play that presses, they're not going to be as good as UConn. That's just the reality. Again, I think they're the best pressing team in the country. So it should give us confidence that we'll be able to handle that better moving forward.
So kind of tying back to my earlier question for Lee and Coach, how do you feel like playing in this environment against a very tough team? Their fans traveling very well is going to prepare you kind of for the postseason in a sense.
Well, I will say I thought we had a more of a pro-Marquette crowd than we did last year, for sure. So I know their fans travel, and I think that's great for women's basketball. But Marquette fans showed out today, and we were really grateful for that. But yeah, I mean, playing in that type of environment, that's what that women's basketball should be about. And so I think we were excited about that. I thought our kids thrived off of it. I thought we had a lot of fun out there. And again, I think, you know, we did a lot of things today that should help build our confidence through what's been a lot of adversity to be able to finish this season strong, and we're looking forward to that. All right, thanks, everybody.